hey there. I'm so glad you're back. Today, we're going to play an activity called What's Behind the Magic Curtain. Are you ready? Okay, let's get started. Today, I am going to show you some materials and I'm going to describe them and give you hints. And I want you to think about what's behind this magic curtain before I actually show you. Okay, here we go. The first thing I have today helps protect my eyes when I'm in a science experiment. It keeps chemicals, dust, or any particles out of my eyes when I'm working. Do you know what that is? If you guessed goggles, you're correct. Next, this is something we use to measure temperature. Many of the people have them. We use them when we're sick to check our temperature, but we also we use this to check the weather outside. Do you know what that is? A thermometer. We use thermometers all the time as scientists. Ooh, something I really like to use during class experiments helps me to kind of zoom in on what we're looking at. It magnifies what we're looking at. It makes things appear bigger than what they actually are. Do you know what that is? You're correct, a hand lens. Something I feel like is so important to a scientist is they need a place to document all the things they've learned about or the experiments that they've conducted to write their data down. We use this all the time in many classes, but for science class, it's really helpful to write vocabulary down. It's really helpful to make anchor charts inside of, and we write all of our results and data from science experiments. I hope you have one at home because you're going to need it. And if you guessed a science interactive notebook, you're correct. I really need you to go get a composition notebook for our classroom because it is so important. We will be using it virtually as well as on campus if you do decide to come back. Next, I have something that scientists use and you may not have ever heard of before. There's two types of these things, and both of these things measure mass. And you might ask, what is mass? Mass. Well, mass is anything that has weight. So it's how heavy something is. So if you're trying to measure how heavy something is, what do you think you would use? It is a type of scale, but not like the ones we step on to check our weight. Instead, we have something called a pan balance. Sometimes you'll see these at the grocery stores, and they look like this. To check to see which one has more mass, they both start straight like this, and then whenever you put something inside of it, and it has more mass, it goes down. We use a pan balance often when we check mass in science. The next really cool tool that scientists use to check mass, and it makes it a little more accurate, and it is a triple beam balance. How many of you have heard that before? What's really cool is because it measures in grams and it goes straight down to the gram. It goes by ones, tens, and 100s. We'll talk more about this later because we'll definitely use it during physical properties when we're talking about mass. But I just want to familiarize you with the materials that we have right now. So this is called a triple beam balance. Ooh, I bet a lot of you have seen this in a science classroom, maybe even while watching Bill Nye. This is something we use to measure the volume of a liquid. And all that really means is that it means how much space a liquid takes up. And we can measure that with something called, do you know? It's a graduated cylinder. This graduated cylinder goes by liters and milliliters, and we pour in liquids to see how much it takes up in a container. And last but not least for today, this really helps us with mixtures and solutions. So if you had some water and some rocks, and you didn't want to sit there and pick out with your fingers those rocks, what's an easy way that you can dump all of it into one item? The water will come out, but then the rocks will stay. I'm wondering what that is. A lot of people use this when they have coffee grounds or anything like that. And that is called a strainer. A strainer helps us separate mixtures from one another. There are so many more science tools out there, but this is just the start of them. I hope you've enjoyed this lesson, and I can't wait to hear how much you've learned. Have a great day.